Hey there, Rushies. It's your old pal, the Russian Fazbear here. And today, what I've got for you is a 50-inch 1988 Casablanca Cambridge in antique brass. This ceiling fan came from Marketplace a few months ago. And the Rosewood blades you see are not original to the fan. Those I got at a fan store several months back. A few months before I got the Cambridge. And when I got the Cambridge, it had, I believe, American Industries blades and brackets. And I took those off and was able to find a pair of Cambridge brackets. And as for the blades, I just threw them on because that was pretty much the only spare set I had at the time that would be, age appropriate for this fan. Because I did have, some Victorian stencil kind, but they looked a little too old. I did have some contemporary bleached oak ones, but they looked a little too new, and they also looked terrible with the antique brass. So I went with these gloss rosewood blades, and I think they look pretty good. The fan was the 126th fan made that day, and it was made Groundhog Day, February 2nd, 1988. Get a close-up look, and I need to get a little plug for right there. And this fan is IntelliTouch. Just set the... There we go. Okay. So now I'll demonstrate it via the IntelliTouch. There's the light. Nice and bright. Makes the rosewood shine nicely as well. And then there is speed 1. Oddly enough, when I first got the fan, the IntelliTouch seemed to be flaking a little bit, but now it seems to be working fine. As when I first got it, the beeping noises were a lot more raspy, and sometimes made beeping noises without me touching anything, but that hasn't happened in a while, so I guess it's okay now. Or knock on wood anyways. Speed 2. And this is my only Cambridge, and I'm really liking it a lot. As most of you are probably aware, Cambridges are relatively uncommon, and I got to admit, they're pretty cool fans. Speed 3. As I really like, the ornate Columbia 2 style blade brackets, or not Columbia, Century, I think I don't know, might be Century, Century or Columbia, one of the two brackets, the ornate style brackets that the Cambridge has, and then also, the decorative bottom plate, which is, similar to a Victorian, which is probably why some people refer to these as mini Victorians. Bearings are a little noisy, but that's kind of par for the course with Casablancas like these. And it does wobble a little bit on the higher speeds. But it blows good air, does a good job. Yeah, it's a nice Cambridge. If I had a shorter set of Rosewood, I would probably put that on there too, by the way, as I do think Cambridges look better in the 40-inch form as opposed to the 50-inch form. Because Cambridges are generally meant to be smaller fans, I think. And on speed 6 is really when it starts to get a good shake going. Should probably put a one of those recall clips in there because of that. Because, you know, usually when it wobbles, that's when it starts to shake itself loose. The one thing I don't like about the recall clip, though, is it usually amplifies any wobble because it isn't seated in there as, like, flushly. But yeah, it is ripping and blowing really good air, as it is in a rather big room. And one more thing to note about this fan is it has a really long spin down time. It's like 4 or 5 minutes. And I would show that off, but I don't want to use that kind of space on my memory card, so apologies for that, but I'm sure you probably can get the idea. Anyways, so yeah, that's just about all there is to say. This is my 50-inch 1988 antique brass Casablanca Cambridge with rosewood blades. Yeah, give you a little taste of the spin down there. So you can kind of tell it doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon because it's not one of those fans that kind of goes for a bit and then comes to a halt. Like, it keeps going, like, at that exaggerated speed. But anyways, that's all. And don't forget to subscribe for more content. Twitter and Instagram links below, not actually. I like you guys to death, and don't forget to keep it vintage.